Greetings and happy holidays, everybody. This is Parker Agelasto, your 5th District City Council representative, wishing you warm greetings. Thank you very much for a successful year at City Council for the City of Richmond and the 5th District. We have some great things to report back to you, some highlights from this past year that we would like to share and acknowledge the great work that the city has been doing, that Ida Jones, 5th District Liaison, has been doing, but more importantly, what our citizens in the 5th District have contributed to the quality of our community. So thank you very much, and let me review with you some of our great highlights. One of my commitments to you as your 5th District representative is to provide you with the best communication. We have implemented our Constant Contact e-newsletter that goes out monthly, and we have been sending that out on a regular basis to keep people informed about important issues in their neighborhood. We've also been on Facebook and on Twitter with active posts to keep people with the most up-to-date and current information, such as road closures and celebrations going on in the community. We continue to mail out our annual or biannual printed newsletter to those who are not available to get email or to go onto social media. So we appreciate what you have been communicating to us in responding to 27,000 emails that we've received over the past year. And we hope that our communication back to you is resolving your issues and providing a high level of service that you expect from us. In addition to being able to communicate with you through telephone, email, as well as social media, one of the greatest things that I find is being able to engage people personally. And that means our district meetings that we host every other month. This past year we hosted 6 district meetings. We continue to rotate throughout the neighborhoods to make sure that we are providing access to those who may not go to another part of the city for our meetings. I have also been regularly attending our civic association meetings and an effort to reach out directly to those at the place that is most comfortable to them. And I want to thank the civic leaders who have been volunteers in their community and making sure that their civic associations are very active and keep their residents informed. And their support for our district and initiatives and efforts has been greatly appreciated. So thank you to our civic associations. There are more than 10 active associations. That's one more than there was last year. So we continue to try and build those resources. And I appreciate the collaboration that our civic associations bring. One of the great collaborations that we've had with our civic associations has been our district cleanups. And ever since I got onto City Council, I wanted to make sure that we got active in our community where people could come out and fellowship with their neighbors. And we do 7 cleanups a year, once a month between April and October. And in 2014, I'm greatly pleased to announce that we had over 350 volunteers contribute to cleaning up the 5th District. And that is thanks to very many partnerships, including the civic associations. But more namely, we have a partnership with Hands On Greater Richmond, who has been helping us to promote the activities with churches and with community groups and recruiting these volunteers that we might need to really make an impact. So thank you, Hands On, and thank you to the civic associations for coordinating with us and for bringing out all the volunteers. We will continue to make these cleanups on a monthly basis, and I look forward to being out there in the community with you as we make a difference. Part of our other partnerships with cleanups has also been the friends groups of our city parks. And one of my commitments to the 5th District is to make sure that they have a high advocacy for our parks. More than 50% of the park acreage is in the 5th District, and we're very proud of that. That means the James River Park system, that means parts of Forest Hill, Reedy Creek, Carter Jones, Canoe Run, Bird Park. We have some great amenities in and around the 5th District. So I want to thank the friends groups for helping us, but one thing I want to highlight is what we've been doing with our Parks Department in trying to bring more activities and more recreational components to the 5th District. We have seen the introduction of a skate park at Carter Jones, and we're working on one over in the Maymont community. We have also been very active in supporting our community gardens, and the 5th District has been growing its community garden support, and I continue to look for opportunities where we might be able to expand community gardens. And one of the great pleasures that I've seen is how much the community gardens have brought people out to celebrate healthy foods and fresh foods, and we're seeing it all throughout the district. And I want to thank the participants in that program, from our church groups to our friends groups to the George Wythe High School. It's wonderful to see the engagement that we have to supporting healthy, fresh food. Another key component to making our community vibrant is public education. And we all talk about the support that we need to be offering Richmond Public Schools. And I'm glad to say that as a city council representative, I've been offering both support on council to our Richmond Public School Board, but also in the classroom with our students. And I think that's great to be exposed to city leaders, to our youth. And I want to thank all of the school principals who have invited me to participate. Particularly, I want to thank George Wythe High School in the 5th District for giving us the opportunity to work together in supporting different initiatives, whether it be the Turkeys for Touchdowns program with the football players, or whether it be partnering with Capital One and doing some renovations of the library. I want to say thank you to those participants, but also at our elementary school level and how we've been engaging in different opportunities to bring new curriculum and exciting opportunities. School level, we're pleased to be able to provide resources to the families and the students through our back to school drive in August, but also to be in the classroom, whether it's myself doing some readings to 5th graders or 4th graders, or to be participating with the Dancing Classroom Initiative. It's great to see the excitement and energy in our youth. One thing that we wanted to make sure, however, was that the youth had a safe place at school. That's the most essential component to making school educational. So one thing that we had to support was the drop-off loop for John B. Carey, to make sure that our families had a safe place to drop children off and that the principal and the teachers had a great place where they could monitor that activity so that the children were safe coming into school in the Kiss and Go program. And I'm pleased to announce that that has been completed as one of our major capital improvements. Speaking of capital improvements, it's critical that we supply our district with the improvements that we all expect from our roads and our sidewalks. We know that the city has many areas of aging infrastructure, and that's one thing that I have advocated for, is to improve what we see on a daily basis at our front door when we walk out. So I'm pleased to announce that we have worked diligently on repairing sidewalks, installing new sidewalks, and repaving the roads. Our arterial roads mostly have been repaved in the last year on the south side of the city, and we're beginning to look to do more neighborhood roads as we complete these larger projects. We also work to advocate for more sidewalk funding, and I'm pleased to say that we will be seeing some improvements here shortly as it relates to our neighborhood sidewalks and installation there. Also very important is what we're doing for public transportation. And as a city, we want to make sure that we have affordable, accessible public transportation. It's not just about who can drive on what streets, but how do people get around who don't own automobiles. So the city was a recipient of the federal Tiger Grant to expand bus rapid transit in Richmond, and I'm pleased to say that that is an initiative that I can support, and will be making sure that the budget allocates the appropriate funding to begin Broad Street's bus rapid transit. One of my greatest responsibilities as 5th District representative is to introduce and pass legislation through the form of ordinances and resolutions that will improve the quality of life of not only 5th District residents, but the city at large. Over the course of 2014, we introduced 17 ordinances and resolutions, and I'm pleased to give you a summary of what we passed as legislation that is impacting the 5th District. We rewrote some of the zoning language for the B3 zone, and that includes changes that would affect Hull Street, Cowarden Avenue, and Carey Street in an effort to improve the development opportunities and making sure that those developments reflect the desire of the local community. We reformed the tax abatement program for rehabilitation of residential, commercial, and industrial properties so that people were taking proper advantage of this city incentive. And I encourage those of you in older homes, if you're interested, please take advantage of this program. It's a great opportunity to reduce your tax liability, improve your home, and have a lasting impact in your neighborhood. We also introduced a resolution to support roll-on and roll-off bicycle transportation with Amtrak, and I'm pleased to say that Amtrak, as well as the Department of Rails and Public Transportation, are working to implement that at Main Street Station. We passed resolutions to implement enhanced speeding fines along Sims Avenue, West Carey Street, and West Main Street in the Uptown neighborhood. in an effort to try and combat some of the high level of speeding that we see in that area, along with the high volume of traffic, to make it safer for our pedestrians, our bicyclists, and the community at large. We passed a resolution to support random acts of kindness, and I ask all of you to do something to benefit another without any reservation. We are supporting a Lumpkins Jail resolution so that we can look to make Lumpkins Jail a National Historic Landmark and possibly, in one future day, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We decided to surplus the 17th Street Farmers Market sheds, and we've donated those to the Enrichment Foundation so that they could be used in our parks or for pop-up farmers markets, potentially at George Wythe High School. We requested the General Assembly to expand Medicaid eligibility, and so that many more Richmond residents could be eligible for this program. We asked that the General Assembly, and they granted us this opportunity to improve water efficiency for our residents by allowing on-bill financing, where the City Department of Public Utilities can help with financing of improvements for low-flow shower heads, high-efficient toilets, etc. And for those people who would need assistance financing it, that would go through their utility bill. We have also asked, and we're waiting to see if this will pass at the City Council level, for a rental inspection program. Many of our neighborhoods are seeing higher levels of renters than they have in the past, and we need to protect the quality of our housing, the integrity of our communities, by beginning to address some of the issues that we have with rental properties. I'm proud to say that I've introduced this, and I will continue to endeavor to have it passed so that we can make sure that our safe communities are protected from deteriorating rental properties. Two additional resolutions that we're working on. One was an anti-litter campaign. Everybody who has participated in our cleanups knows that the 5th District is constantly a target for trash. And one thing we need to do is to prevent the trash from landing on the ground in the first place. So improving anti-litter efforts in an initiative called Keep RVA Beautiful is going to be a great resource to drive forward as we get closer to the bike race in 2015, when more than 400,000 visitors from across the world will be coming to Richmond. And we want to be clean, safe, and attractive for all of them so that they can become ambassadors, go home, tell their friends and family members, visit Richmond, Virginia. We want to go and make sure that we drive our economy, and the best way to do that is to be welcoming to our guests, and that includes having a safe and clean environment. And lastly, we're working to instill redistricting reform. Under the courts this year, the 3rd Congressional District was deemed unconstitutional, and it's time that we in Virginia, with the General Assembly support, begin a redistricting reform that brings nonpartisan decision-making and more citizen engagement into how our districts are drawn so that we can elect leaders that represent our communities and our values. So thank you very much. That's a summary of our great legislative agenda for this year. It's also very important in our community that we offer high-paying jobs. So one of my initiatives has been to look at workforce development, find opportunities that we could expand to bring high-paying jobs to residents of the 5th District. One area that I identified in last year's budget was the $25,000 that we were going to order bike racks. And I'm pleased to say that as of to date, we did not order the bike racks from out of state, but we created a jobs training program to teach welding to residents of the city. And we have now certified more than 12 welders, and we have produced more than 200 bicycle racks that you have seen popping up throughout the city. The initiative has been so well received that we continue to expand it, and it got recognition in the Washington Post most recently. However, we've got to do more than 12 certificates in welding. We need to do more jobs, so we continue to look at economic development opportunities. But workforce development is something particularly keen to me, and I've been meeting with members of the community college and finding opportunities within the district to bring those jobs a little bit closer to home. I'm also proud to say that I became a Kiva organization trustee, which will allow me to make recommendations for low interest, 0% interest loans to small businesses in our district. And that is a wonderful opportunity to receive up to $5,000 in zero-interest loans for our small businesses. And I've reached out to many of them, and I'm proud to say that we've been successful. I don't know what to say. Part of the workforce development initiatives is also to find new opportunities within the city. And that means whether we have to reform our policies related to the Economic Development Authority or to identify surplus property initiatives that could bring jobs. But at the same time, there are new things that we are eligible for, but we have not started to pursue. And I've asked for an active inquiry into doing performance contracting and other enhancements such as power purchase agreements so that we might create more jobs, whether they be for clean energy or for improving safety and lighting in our communities, and to make sure that we have the most high-tech, up-to-date equipment in our community that could be done at a very cost-effective method, such as paying for it by the savings that we would have received by reducing energy consumption. Part of my service on council is also to sit on many boards and commissions. I serve as the vice chair of the Finance and Economic Development Committee, as well as serve on the Organizational Development Committee and Education and Human Services Committee. I'm a member of the Maymont Foundation, as well as the World War I Centennial Commission, Community Policy and Management Team, the Richmond Regional Planning District, and many other opportunities to serve the city. And I'm proud to be contributing in all of the conversations that happen, whether it be from social services to community and entertainment to regional planning. It's a great honor, and I'm delighted that my colleagues on council have made these appointments for me to serve. In addition to serving you on City Council, it's important that I balance what I have professionally and personally on my non-work side. Professionally, I'm pleased to say that this year I'm participating in Leadership Metro Richmond and have made networks and friends from across the region and across industry that will be serving not only me, but the city in the future. And on a personal note, I'm delighted that 2014 was the year that I proposed to Catherine Blackburn, my fiance and my future wife. I'm very much in love with you, and I want to share you with all of the constituents of the 5th District. You are everything to me. So what a year 2014 has made. I want to thank Ida Jones for her dedicated service to the 5th District and her personal friendship to me, as well as all the many city staff and constituent community leaders that have made this year such a wonderful year. So thank you for your time, and enjoy the remainder of 2014, and we look forward to serving you again in 2015.